stop wasting money on pricey protein drinks and bulky leg machines because the real answer for stronger legs after 70 may already be sitting in your kitchen, and almost nobody is talking about it in a clear, useful way. Today, you are going to hear about 6 everyday foods that research now connects with better muscle support in aging legs, even for people in their 80s and 90s. Yes, even then. And before we go any further, listen closely to this part. A major study that followed more than 2,600 adults age 70 and older found that people who regularly ate certain muscle-supporting nutrients had much better leg strength and were far less likely to suffer a serious fall. That is not some tiny difference buried in fine print. That is the kind of difference that can shape how you move, how you live, and how long you stay independent. The wild part is this: the foods behind those benefits are not rare, they are not fancy, they are not expensive. In fact, the most surprising one is something many people avoid for the wrong reasons. Stay with me all the way through, because the final food may completely change the way you look at your next meal. And while you listen, think about your own body for a second. Have your legs felt weaker this year? Is getting out of a chair a little harder? Do stairs feel heavier than they used to? Do long walks feel shorter now because your legs give up before your mind does? These are not small signs. They matter. And the good news is this story is not only about decline, it is about what can still improve. We are going to move through these foods one by one, building from helpful to truly powerful, and by the end you will see how simple daily choices can help support stronger legs, better balance, and more freedom in everyday life. So do not skip ahead. The last part brings everything together, and it may be the one thing you remember most. Let's start with a food many older adults already have at home, yet most are not using it in the smartest way if they want lasting strength in their legs. Sweet potatoes may look simple, but they do serious work inside the body. When it comes to walking, standing, climbing steps, or carrying groceries, energy matters, and not just quick energy that disappears in an hour. Your muscles need fuel that lasts. That is exactly where sweet potatoes shine. As we get older, the body becomes less efficient at storing and using energy, so even basic movement can feel like more work than it used to. Sweet potatoes help answer that problem by giving the body slow, steady fuel instead of a short burst followed by a crash. Their complex carbohydrates support stamina, which means your legs may feel more reliable through the day instead of fading too early. Inside that bright orange color, you also get nutrients that help in other ways. Vitamin A helps the body recover. Potassium helps muscles contract the right way and can reduce cramping. Natural plant compounds help calm the low-grade inflammation that slowly wears muscle tissue down over time. That matters more than many people realize, because chronic inflammation is one of the quiet forces behind stiffness, soreness, and reduced movement as the years go by. Sweet potatoes also bring fiber, and that helps your digestion work better so your body can actually absorb the nutrients you are eating. In other words, they do not just feed you. They help your body use the food more effectively. Roast them, mash them, add them to soup, slice them into a bowl with other simple foods. They are easy, affordable, and dependable. And food like that can quietly support the kind of leg strength that keeps you moving with confidence. It may not look dramatic on the plate, but inside the body, it can be doing much more than you think. Now think about a breakfast food that often gets ignored because it seems too plain to matter. Oats. They are simple, they are cheap, and they can be one of the smartest foods for seniors who want better endurance in their legs and more stable energy from morning to evening. If your legs feel tired halfway through the day, if climbing stairs feels heavier than it should, or if you notice that drained feeling showing up earlier than before, oats can help support a better rhythm in the body. One big reason older adults lose stamina is that the body gets worse at keeping blood sugar and energy levels steady. Oats help because they release fuel slowly. That means less of the up and down roller coaster and more lasting support for your muscles while you walk, clean, garden, shop, or just move through ordinary life, but they do more than supply energy. Oats also give you plant protein, and that protein helps your body maintain and repair muscle fibers that naturally shrink with age if they are not supported. They also contain iron and magnesium, two nutrients many older adults do not get enough of. Iron helps carry oxygen to the muscles. Magnesium helps muscles relax after they contract, which can make a difference if you deal with tightness, stiffness, or those sudden leg cramps that hit at night and ruin sleep in seconds. Oats may also support healthy blood flow, helping oxygen and nutrients reach the muscles so they recover better after activity. That is important because recovery becomes slower with age, and when recovery slows, people move less, and when people move less, weakness grows faster. See how the cycle starts. That is why small food choices matter more than they seem. A bowl of oats in the morning, oats blended into a smoothie, or oats baked into a simple snack can become a quiet daily support system for stronger, steadier legs. Nothing flashy, just real support that builds over time. And sometimes that is exactly what the body needs most. Then, there's a food many people think of as trendy, but for older adults, it can be much more than that. Avocados can help support legs that feel stiff, tight, achy, or less flexible than they used to. One of the most common complaints with aging is not just weakness. It is that heavy, stubborn stiffness that shows up when getting out of bed, standing after sitting too long, or trying to move after a quiet afternoon. A big reason for that is inflammation. It builds slowly. It stays quietly in the background, and over time it can make muscles and joints feel older than they need to. Avocados help by giving the body healthy monounsaturated fats, the kind that support lower inflammation and help protect muscle and joint tissue. That can mean less soreness, easier movement, and more comfort with everyday tasks. But there is more. Avocados are rich in potassium, and muscles depend on potassium to contract the right way. In fact, this food contains even more potassium than bananas, which surprises a lot of people. That matters if you deal with leg cramps, muscle spasms, or those painful calf tightenings that can wake you up in the middle of the night. Avocados also contain vitamin E, an antioxidant that helps protect muscle cells from stress and wear. And because their healthy fats support circulation, they may also help oxygen and nutrients travel more easily to the muscles in your legs. That means better nourishment where you need it most. You can spread avocado on toast, blend it into a smoothie, mix it into a dip, or eat it plain with a little salt and pepper. It does not have to be complicated. What matters is regular use, not perfection, not some strict plan, just steady inclusion over time. This is one of those foods that does not scream for attention, but if you stay with it, your body may answer back in a very clear way. Less tightness, fewer cramps, smoother movement, and that kind of change gets your attention fast, especially when you thought stiffness was simply something you had to accept. Now let's talk about something small, colorful, and much more powerful than it looks. Berries. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries. These are not just sweet little extras you toss on the side of breakfast. They are loaded with compounds that can help protect aging muscles from some of the quiet damage that builds over time. Every day, your body deals with oxidative stress and free radicals. You cannot see them, but you may feel the effects as sore legs after simple activity, slower recovery, stiff joints, or that worn-down feeling that shows up too soon. Berries help fight back. They are rich in antioxidants, and those antioxidants help shield the body from damage that can weaken muscle tissue and make recovery slower. They also help calm inflammation, which matters if your legs feel achy, heavy, or stiff more often than they used to. And here is something else worth noticing. Berries contain vitamin C, which supports collagen production. Collagen helps support muscles, tendons, joints, and connective tissues, all the parts that need to stay flexible and strong if you want your movement to stay smooth. Berries may also support circulation, helping blood carry oxygen where it needs to go so your leg muscles feel less drained and recover more easily after walking or exercise. And yes, there is another bonus. The same natural compounds that support the body may also support the brain, helping with clarity and focus. So in a simple handful of fruit, you get support for movement and support for mental sharpness. That is a strong combination. Add berries to oatmeal, stir them into yogurt, blend them into smoothies. Eat them fresh when you want a snack that does more than just fill space. This is one of those foods that feels light and easy, but the effect can be deeper than expected. Keep watching because the next foods raise the level even more. And the one after that is the one many people wrongly fear, even though it can be one of the best allies for staying strong and stable later in life. If this is already making you look at your meals a little differently, stay right here because the next two foods are where things really start to shift. One of the strongest options for rebuilding and protecting leg strength in older adults is salmon. Every time you rise from a chair, take a walk, or climb a flight of stairs, your leg muscles are doing a serious job. They carry your body weight again and again, often without praise, until one day they start feeling weaker, slower, and more tired than before. Part of that happens because the body becomes less efficient at rebuilding muscle with age. That is where salmon can help in a big way. First, it is packed with high-quality protein, giving muscles the raw material they need to repair and stay strong. But the deeper power comes from its omega-3 fats. These healthy fats help reduce inflammation, support smoother blood flow, and may help protect joints from stiffness and discomfort. Inflammation is one of the hidden reasons older adults feel weak and recover slowly after activity. Omega-3s help quiet that process, which may help your legs feel more comfortable and responsive. They also help support circulation by keeping blood vessels more flexible, so oxygen and nutrients can move efficiently to the muscles. That can mean better energy, less heaviness, and improved recovery after movement. Salmon also supports nerve health, and that matters because strong movement is not only about muscle. It is about communication between nerves and muscles. When that communication stays sharper, balance and coordination can feel more reliable. On top of that, salmon gives you B vitamins, especially B12, which help the body turn food into usable energy. You do not need to eat it every day. Even 2 or 3 servings a week can be meaningful. Grill it, bake it, use canned salmon with olive oil and lemon if that is easier. The form matters less than the habit. What counts is giving your body this kind of support regularly. And yes, we are about to get to the food that surprises almost everyone, so do not click away now. Here it is, the food many people were told to fear, avoid, or limit for years, even though it can be one of the most complete strength-supporting foods for older adults. Eggs, small, simple, affordable, yet packed with exactly the kind of nutrition aging muscles need. As the years pass, the body loses muscle faster and rebuilds it more slowly. This process, often called age-related muscle loss, shows up in real life as slower walking, weaker legs, shakier balance, and less confidence with movement. Eggs help because they provide high-quality protein containing all the essential amino acids the body uses to repair and maintain muscle. That alone makes them valuable. But they go further. Eggs are also one of the few natural food sources of vitamin D, a nutrient that helps support bone strength, muscle function, and coordination. Low vitamin D is common in older adults, and when levels stay low, weakness, fatigue, and balance problems become more likely. Eggs also contain choline, a nutrient many people overlook. Choline helps nerves and muscles communicate smoothly, which can support steadier steps and quicker body response. Inside the yolk, you also get healthy fats, antioxidants, and B vitamins that help protect cells and support daily energy. So when people throw out the yolk or avoid eggs out of old fear, they may be tossing away one of the most useful parts. For many people, 1 or 2 eggs a day can fit very well into a balanced routine. Scrambled, boiled, poached, or paired with vegetables, they offer a simple and practical way to support strength without needing expensive products or complicated plans. Sometimes the most useful answers are the ones people stop trusting for the wrong reasons, and that is why this food lands so hard when people finally look at it with fresh eyes. Simple does not mean weak. Basic does not mean useless. Sometimes the strongest support comes in the most ordinary shell sitting in the refrigerator, waiting for someone to stop fearing it and start using it wisely. At this point, a lot of people ask the same thing. Do you need to eat all of these foods every single day for them to help? No, that is not the point. The goal is not to chase a perfect meal plan and then quit because life gets busy. The goal is consistency. You can mix these foods through the week in a way that feels realistic and natural. What matters is that your body keeps seeing these nutrients again and again because that is when support starts to build. A serving here, a smart breakfast there, a better dinner choice a few times a week. Those small repeats matter more than one perfect day. Another common question is timing. When should you eat them? Morning can be a great choice because it gives your muscles fuel early and may help support more stable energy across the day. But lunch works. Dinner works. A snack works. Your body does not refuse nourishment because the clock says afternoon. It still benefits whenever you give it what it needs. People also wonder if these foods can be combined. Yes, and in many cases they work beautifully together. Oats with berries, salmon with avocado, eggs with sweet potatoes. These combinations can support the body in multiple ways at once, giving muscles fuel, repair material, and anti-inflammatory support in the same meal. That kind of teamwork in food can be very useful. Then comes the next big question. Do you need exercise too? Light movement absolutely helps. You do not need to train like an athlete. Short walks, chair exercises, light leg stretches, and simple daily movement can help these nutrients do their job better. Nutrition gives the body the material. Movement tells the body where to use it. Put those together, and you have a much stronger strategy than either one alone. This is where many people start seeing change, not overnight, but steadily. And that steady change is often the kind that lasts. So let's pull the whole picture together in a simple, clear way. Sweet potatoes help fuel muscles with slow, steady energy and support recovery. Oats help keep energy more stable, support muscle repair, and may reduce cramping the wrist through minerals like magnesium. Avocados help calm inflammation, support flexibility, and supply potassium that muscles depend on. Berries help protect muscle tissue from oxidative stress, support recovery, and give connective tissues a boost through vitamin C. Salmon helps rebuild muscle, supports circulation, and brings anti-inflammatory fats that older bodies often need more of. Eggs provide complete protein, key vitamins, and nutrients that help muscles and nerves work together smoothly. Put all six into the same bigger story, and you get something powerful. These are not magic foods. They are not miracle promises. They are steady tools. Together, they can form a practical defense against the weakness and muscle loss that so often come with age. And every meal that includes one or two of them becomes more than a meal. It becomes a chance to support your balance, your movement, and your independence. If you have been feeling tired on stairs, heavy during walks, or stiff after sitting too long, hear this clearly. It is not always too late. The body still responds to care. It still answers better nutrition. It still reacts to movement. And in many cases, it can improve more than people expect when they finally start giving it what it needs. That is why this matters. This is not only about food, it is about what food allows you to keep doing. Standing up without struggle, walking with less fear, moving through your home with more confidence, keeping up with life in ways that feel deeply personal. And if that sounds important, it is because it is. Stay with me, because the final stretch is where this turns from information into something much more human. Now, a very important reminder, this kind of information should be used as guidance, not as a replacement for personal medical care. If you have a chronic condition, take medications, deal with kidney issues, are healing from an injury, or have any special dietary limits, it is smart to speak with a healthcare professional before making big changes to what you eat. Safety comes first. Always. Food can be powerful, but it should work with your health plan, not against it. That said, many people need to hear this next part just as much as they need the nutrition advice. Your legs are your base. They are your support system. When they stay stronger, life usually stays bigger. You stay more mobile, more independent, more in charge of your day. That is why small changes matter so much. A better breakfast, a smarter dinner, a few simple foods repeated consistently. They may not look dramatic in the moment, but over time they can shape how you feel when you stand, walk, turn, and move through the world. Maybe this week you add berries to breakfast. Maybe you start eating eggs again without fear. Maybe you roast sweet potatoes instead of reaching for a processed side dish. Maybe you put salmon on the shopping list for the first time in months. Start with one change. That is enough. One clear step is often what breaks the feeling of being stuck. And once you feel even a small difference, momentum begins. The body likes support. It responds to support. And sometimes one good choice makes the next choice easier. That is how real change happens. Not in one giant leap, but in repeated, doable actions that slowly build strength from the inside out. If you have made it this far, then you already care about staying strong. And that matters more than you know, because people who keep looking for answers are often the same people who keep finding ways to improve. Please do not let fear, old myths, or discouraging voices convince you that strength is finished just because you are older now. It is not finished. If you are watching this, listening closely, and still looking for ways to help your body, then something important is still alive in you. The desire to keep moving, the refusal to give up, the belief, even if it is quiet, that things can still get better. Hold on to that because this is not only about nutrition science, it is about your daily life. It is about getting out of a chair without bracing yourself. It is about walking through a store without worrying your legs will fade halfway through. It is about keeping your balance, your routines, and the parts of life that make you feel like yourself. So, if this message gave you even one useful idea, remember it, use it, and share it with someone who may need it too. A friend, a parent, a neighbor, someone who has started to feel their world getting smaller because their legs do not feel dependable anymore. Sometimes the right information reaches a person at exactly the right time and changes more than expected. And before you go, think about this for a second. Which one of these foods will you bring back into your routine first? Which one feels easiest to start with this week? That question matters because action is where everything changes. Information is helpful, but action is what turns hope into movement. So take one step. Make one shift, build from there. Your story is not over, your strength is not automatically gone, and with enough consistency, support, and patience, your legs may remind you that they still have much more left to give than you were told.